Hello, welcome back to the porch. As you can see, Penelope is eating dinner right now and watching some tunes. So, I hope that you guys have been having as much fun as we have. I've refinished a couple countertops. I'm working on a dining room table. I put up a backsplash. I'm staying busy. Penelope and I have 15 coronavirus miles in, so we are hitting it hard. So I was thinking that there are a lot of questions that are coming in. There are some people that still haven't responded, and that's kind of disappointing. But as far as questions, I'm just going to go through them and read them and then address them. So our first one comes from Sarah, and her question was, do we need to create 2 units of lessons? She knows that we need to create a unit lesson plan and film it, but do you need to create another one? Also, the online portfolio, she had a question about that. So what I have done is I have created a checklist of assignments for you guys that I will be posting as soon as this video goes live. And that checklist will have everything outlined and a description so you know exactly what I'm expecting of you and there's no more confusion. I feel like when you do a class for the first time, the instructor learns as much as the kids do. And this is probably something that I should have posted in the beginning just to make life easier. Let's talk about the mini lessons first. First thing I would like to do is take away mini lesson number 7. So I only want you guys to do 6 mini lessons for the class. So that means you'll lesson plan and video 6 total mini lessons. And then for the field component, you will have 7 lessons that you have already planned or were in the process of planning to do in your field experience that you're just going to put in a zipped file and submit it on Dropbox. So that's pretty easy. It was already required. The university comes up with the field requirements for this course, so there's not much that I could do as far as altering that. But what we are planning on is just have you guys send me that by the due date, and I'll go through and check them and then make sure you get credit. Because field is canceled for the rest of the year. Hopefully you guys have gone through and emailed Valerie of your hours and let her know like where you guys were and said that she could confirm it with your cooperating teacher. Katie, your question was, the same thing. With the mini lessons being separate from the field lessons. So you don't have to record videos for the field requirement. You just have to write the 7 lesson plans. 4 of them go together that basically make 1 week's worth of instruction. So I find that the easiest way to organize it, just to keep it fresh in my mind so that I can stay focused, would be to write a lesson for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and then just continue through that and call that your unit. So that way, I always like to plan 4 days and then have a rough plan for the 5th day, just because you never know when you're going to have to reteach something, when you need to go off onto some tangent, when there is a surprise assembly. So it's really difficult to plan a 5-day lesson and actually have 5 days go perfectly. There are a lot of moving parts in schools. The zoo could come in. You could have a certain virus that makes everybody miss all of the weeks of school. So as you guys are realizing, we deal with things in education a little differently than the rest of the world. So I think that it's probably good practice just to practice writing a 4-lesson week plan, call it your unit, and then have your 5th day be for assessment. Rebecca, your question was, when have you found are the best times to build relationships with students? During instruction, during downtime, like between classes or lunchtime, etc. And what does this look like? Okay, so it's different for each kid. It sounds like a cop-out, but it's not. There are some kids that you can build relationships with during class time because they're outgoing and they talk and they participate. There are other kids that don't talk in front of other people, that maybe the most interaction you get from them is when they look down as they walk by you. So I like to be at the door and greet everybody when they come into the classroom. I always make it a point to talk to every kid during the period. You guys will have to deal with, kids that don't want to talk to you, kids that are embarrassed, kids that are dealing with other things. So the best thing to do is try to talk to every kid a little bit. Kids that you're having a hard time connecting with, we use the 2-minute rule with my teachers. They basically, with kids that they're struggling to connect with, they give them 2 minutes to talk about whatever they want. I had a student, her name was Olivia, and she would go off on these tangents, and she was the most creative, wonderful person on the planet, but no one could get her to do any work. So we made a deal that if she finished her assignment, she could come up to my desk and talk to me about whatever she wanted for 5 minutes at the end of every period. And after about 2 weeks, I was her favorite teacher and she could trust me. I was the only teacher that could get her to do anything. So when other teachers were having difficulty with her, they would call me down and then she would end up coming to my room and doing her assignments. But, that's something that we deal with in special education that's a little different than what you guys who are strictly in general ed are going to deal with. Checking on Penelope real quick. Yep. Still eating mac and cheese. Okay, so as far as lunchtime goes, you can say hi and talk to kids during lunchtime, but lunchtime is part of the sacred 30 minutes where you kind of get to unwind. You can set it up to where once a week you eat lunch with some kids. That's great. We had that. You can use it as a reward. But you really need to have it set up in a structured schedule. If I was going to eat lunch with kids, it would be on a Friday. So Monday through Thursday, I had 30 minutes of absolute me time, which I could use for dissertation stuff. I could use for sitting quietly and listening to music. I could use for catching up on any assignments that I didn't get graded. So it was just this 30-minute buffer that I kind of put into my day to help me keep from being overwhelmed. And when you're a fresh new teacher, it's going to be really easy to get roped into doing all sorts of things. And that 30 minutes needs to be sacred to you, or you are going to feel like you're drowning and you're going to get burned out. And I want you guys to teach for a long time. So try to limit your interaction during lunch to at most once a week. Sydney, for the lesson of the week, what are some ways we can get creative with materials at home rather than at school? Okay, so you could do what I'm doing. I have some friends that have done some read-alongs on YouTube. So they're preschool teachers, and what they do is one day a week on YouTube or Facebook Live. And that's really cool if you can live stream it during the day when the kid would be in class, because they can actually participate. So you could have them read along, their parents can type in the chat, or you can do Zoom meetings and have some kids in. But thankfully, all of our cooperating technology providers are providing everything for free. So you can give out IXL lessons, you could do maybe Max lessons. Socrative is free right now. Khan Academy is free right now. So there are all sorts of things for different levels of learners. What you have to do, especially when you are looking for things to do at home, is keep them brief, under 15 minutes, and don't overload your kids with homework. They're already at home. They don't need all of these blizzard bag assignments. it's kind of like what I'm trying to do with you guys. I'm trying to streamline this to make it so that what you do is less busy work and more authentic. I want you to put some thought into your assignments. That's why I'm taking out mini lesson number 7, because I want your last 2 mini lessons that you video to be your best 2. I want it to be stress-free. I want you to enjoy this class as much as possible. Please give me feedback, give me questions, let me know what you guys are thinking. So back to Sydney's question. You can do live lessons. You can stream them on Facebook Live, which everybody that has Facebook has. And that is a really cool way to get your kids involved. You can put it on YouTube so that the kids that don't have Facebook or Facebook Live can log into YouTube and watch it. There are all sorts of things that allow you to be connected with our kids from far away. So hopefully you guys can kind of use these mini lessons that we've been creating as basically a benchmark or an example of, types of things to do. Get creative. Just do a science demonstration. Do it on video and upload it. That way your kids know that you're still there, you still care, and that when all this is over, we're all going back to school. All right, Emma, your question. Okay, so you said something about submitting lessons on our own time. So are we still following due dates? Okay, so those lessons, submitting them on your own time, that was for the 7 field lessons. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a firm due date on that, and it'll be in the checklist. That way, it'll be a lot easier. You guys, it'll probably be the last week of class. So those due dates will be up as soon as this video goes live. Megan, I'm curious to know what this out-of-school teaching looks like for teachers. What is it that you are having to do to make sure students are getting the content they need for the year? Okay, so basically what we have to do is we just have to hope and pray that parents are participating as well. I have to grab Penelope real quick. All you can do is give them the opportunity to learn. You can't sit there and hold them accountable for things when they don't have the resources. I've had some students that have trouble with internet at their house and they're in college, and that's a realistic part of, hold on, come on, let's go. Okay. So special guest star, the Penelope. Okay, we're coming out here. Oh! So anyway, what does that look like? It looks like you putting the material up and being as engaging and interactive as possible and hoping that your kids participate. You guys can, I'm refinishing that chair. So basically, this is the Penelope. Say hi. Hi. Okay. And let's see. Last question. How is being out of school affecting students in the intervention classes? Okay. So they've just passed legislation to where you can provide interventions to kids. What? You can provide interventions to kids who are supposed to have them via like a teleconference. So you could FaceTime your kids' parents and talk to them and let them know what's going on and try to give them their 15 minutes of reading instruction every week. But as long as school is out of session and we're in this extended period of spring break, you're not really supposed to be giving assignments to these kids. So they're basically on vacation. You wouldn't give a kid homework over Easter break anyway. So treat them like you do your other kids. But if we have to, we can do everything. What? Okay. All right. So I hope I answered all of your questions. Please, please, please keep them coming. Sorry this video ran a little bit long. I hope that you guys are all well. And I will see you next Thursday from the porch. Say bye. Can you say bye? Say bye. 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 Bye.